Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Heidi and today I'm going to talk about the book I read in February, which is, surprise like you didn't already know, The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. So if you watched my previous video where I read the first part of the Wheel of Time series, you know that in Finland these books are divided into 2 or 3 parts. The first book, The Eye of the World, is divided into 2 and this is the second part of this book that I read. Complicated? Yeah, it is, but so much nicer to read because you don't have this huge 1000-page giant waiting for you to go through it. It's more rewarding this way, at least for me. So the first thing I want to tell you is that this part is definitely going to have spoilers. If you are interested in a spoiler-free version, you can watch my video about the first part of this book. This one though, I want to take a deeper look and talk about the first and the second part as a whole package. In other words, you don't have to watch the first part if you want to complete the review. But if you don't want to hear spoilers about the series, be careful and probably don't watch this video because I'm going to talk about it freely. And just one more thing before you go. Please read this series, it's amazing. Okay, now that we are over this part, let's get in it, shall we? The Eye of the World is a book that has a lot going on in it while things seem to take a lot of time to happen. I mean with this that Jordan likes to build up the world and the characters in a calm way. Like in the second part, the first 400 pages were about the characters being separated from each other, just trying to get up before the shit really hits the fan. But what I really love about this is that while things take time to happen, Jordan still manages to keep your attention through every page, every word and every letter. So much happened to the characters personally, and with this I mean personal mental growth. I'm one of those people who doesn't care for multiple point of views, like I actually want to avoid those kind of books because I'm very main character orientated and love to see everything and everyone from one person's perspective. But apparently this is all about the way you present the other characters. Jordan starts with only Rand's point of view and the people around him are well introduced through him. You get to know them a little better, learn what kind of people they are basically. Then after the first 500 or so pages, you get to see them for the first time through someone else's eyes. And it's fine. You actually know these characters already, so it's nice to learn more about them, be there through the emotional struggles and understand them better. Me personally, I still like Rand most of all the characters, but others are great too. So no complaints about reading about others too, but I'm still not quite sure if I can manage if some books are not going to have Rand in them at all. Like I said, I'm main character oriented. The first book is quite amazing in its pacing. First you read through prologue that doesn't make any sense to you at all, and you're like, okay. But I have a boyfriend who's a huge The Wheel of Time fan, so I've already heard lots from him. So I had at least some kind of idea what the heck was going on. Kind of. Then we are shown how the life in the village is, how our new main characters are, stuff like that. We see how the book is actually going to be told. Then we get the action and suddenly you're hooked and can't go back because it's amazing. You learn about the creatures there are, you get the mystery of why they were there, and you learn that it is something about our 3 boys that made the attack happen. But you don't know what yet. You have to read more to learn more. Then for about 500 pages we travel, fight Trollocs, Moiraine does cool magical stuff. We see small town boys seeing the big cities for the first time and being dumb about that and doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, like wandering around dangerous abandoned cities that even Trollocs don't dare to enter and yell at this one particular character that I'm not going to name for being such an idiot for taking something out of that freaking cursed city and yeah, stuff like that. After all this, we get the first hint to what might actually be wrong with Rand, like his reckless actions and high fevers, and it took what? About 600 or more pages since the beginning. Robert Jordan knows how to build up the mystery. I just had to learn more, I had to start the second part and now the first part of the second book because the mystery just thickened at the end of the first book. I am hooked. You can't pull me away from these books. My boyfriend isn't really helping either because he actually pushed the next part into my hand right after I had finished the previous part, hugged me tight so I couldn't escape, and literally opened the book for me. Right, but anyway, back to the first book. I love how Jordan builds the world. We see the change in the village through Rand and Matt as they travel through them to Camelin. I'm sorry I can't pronounce that word, Camelin. Anyway, which is even bigger city, and I just love to read about Rand and Matt's reactions to how noisy the city is, how aggressive these people are, and how much more the politics are present compared to their own small village that literally hasn't ever seen any of the Queen's guards, ever. The world is fascinating and feels alive. It's there even if Rand and his friends weren't. That's good world building. I also love how the book ended. While it had an end, the answers to some of the biggest questions that the book has started with, but still more questions were created because of it. And you just knew that the story is far from finished. And well, if you look at how many books there are, it definitely is far from finished. I seriously love that there's a series that I can let myself get into and read more and more and more until I've gotten all the questions answered. I at least hope I do get answers to all, and those cool scenes where Rand's friends learn about Rand's powers, because if I don't, I'm going to be disappointed. But I have a trust in these books and Jordan and Sanderson, and I feel I'm going to be quite happy in the end. So finally, I'd like to say that all the pictures I used here are from Pinterest, and I've linked my account down to the description where you can find all the pictures I used. I don't own any of them, and I'm using them only for fun. I also have already started March book of the month, which is the next part of the Wheel of Time series, The Great Hunt Part 1. I hope you liked this little review. Please leave a like if you did, and maybe even subscribe for more bookish and not bookish content. I'll see you in the next video.